Hello everyone. This presentation about Hyung Jin Nim as a heir and successor. There's been many questions since after father died why Hyung Jin Nim took over. Many people are surprised that he took over and started the sanctuary church. Other people wonder why there's different changes in the teaching of the Family Federation for World Peace and why there's a division in the first place. Well, there's many questions that many members wonder at this time, so I hope this video will help clarify some of those points. Some people wonder why Hyung Jin Nim, who was chosen and appointed by father to be his heir and successor, why he didn't wait until either Hakjan or his mother died. Well, first of all, it's important to know that actually when father was alive, both true parents anointed Hyung Jin Nim 3 times to be his heir and successor. Hyung Jin Nim, true father, put a crown on his head and anointed him 3 times, very clearly wanted to make the whole world know that he is the heir, basically. Now, father said when he was alive, there will always be a physical heir, a physical representative rather, on the earth. Let's read some of the things he said about his representative or heir. He says, there will always be a physical representative of the true father here on earth. From one generation to another, there will be that axis on which the earth will turn. Therefore, all of you here on earth and all the people in the generations to come will be centered upon the same axis. So that physical representative is the same person that father anointed, Hyung Jin Nim. Again, father speaks, after that registration is done, true father will appoint his successor. That successor must be known to all the Unification Church, all the blessed couples, and the true parents' family. They must all unanimously accept him. Once that successor is determined, the law or constitution of the heavenly kingdom shall be laid down to guide all activities. The law will guide heavenly citizens here on earth and into the kingdom of heaven in heaven. Again, father says, today at this time there must be only one line of authority. The center, centered on Korea or on the world, over the entire Unification Church, will stretch out and become larger. From now, I can leave someone in charge of my work on my behalf. Currently, there is no one among our church members who surpasses Hyung Jin in his standard of faith or in any other way. Do you understand? I am appointing him. And again, father states, God is the King of Kings. There is only one set of true parents. All families are the people who share a single lineage and are the children of one heavenly kingdom. Moreover, the command center of cosmic peace and unity is the absolute and unique command center. Its representative and here is Hyung Jin Moon. Anybody else who claims such a position would be a heretic and one who brings things to destruction. The above content is true parents' proclamation. The importance of you note there, anybody else who claims such a position other than Hyung Jin Nim will be a heretic and destroyer. So Hyung Jin Nim, father made very clear, is the heir and successor, nobody else. So after father died, Hyung Jin Nim was, as he was before, was always faithful to his parents, both parents. And so, after he died, things went on as usual. But then suddenly, a situation appeared where Hyung Jin Nim discovered that his mother was changing father's words. Not only that, she changed all father's traditions. She even changed the Jeongeuk national anthem, which was a beautiful song father wrote after he was liberated from Hungnam concentration camp in North Korea. A song he wrote himself, Blessing of Glory. She even changed that into a song about a crane. But she changed all his traditions and directions. And then she started changing father's words. So this, of course, was a great concern to Hyung Jin Nim. So, of course, he spoke out. He spoke out to her, pleaded her not to do this. But she rejected him and showed anger to him. So it put him in a very difficult situation, because now his parents are divided. What should he do in this situation? It's easy for people to think, well, he should just follow his mother. But how can he follow his mother if she's totally contradicting true father? He can't follow both. If he obeys Hak Jahan, who's betrayed father, who disobeyed father, he's disobeying father. So what can he do? Father anointed him, well, both anointed him. Father anointed him as his heir and successor with Hak Jahan by his side. What can he do? He has to do the only right thing. True father is a subject, and so he has to obey father. He remained obedient to father and united with father. Hak Jahan made herself another subject. That was the problem. She ceased to unite with father. That caused a very serious problem in the providence. She went on to not only change father's words and directions, she made a fraudulent Cheongseongyun book. The book was made just to leave out sections of father's words that didn't support her own new theology, against father's wishes, where he said clearly, don't touch or change his words, especially the Cheongseongyun book. If you think it's different, it said Hyung Jin, in a sense, had to denounce his mother. But in the same way, Jesus, who came as the first coming of Christ, had no choice but to denounce his mother. Here's what he said. When Jesus was preaching in a place, but his mother and brothers came out and called for him. This is Jesus' reply in Matthew 12. But he replied to the man who told him, "Who is my mother, and who are my brothers?" And stretching out his hand toward his disciples, he said, "Here are my mother and my brothers. For whoever does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother, sister, and mother." So Jesus, it's important to know that, of course, Jesus kept the commandments, but he has to be obedient to God first. If his mother is disobeying God or betraying God, then he has to denounce her. So this is the same situation that Hyung Jin Nim was faced in. He had no choice today. He loved his mother, he loved both his parents, but when they're in contradiction, who is the Messiah? True father. So he had to unite with true father. I'm sure he'd wish that she would change and unite with father, but other than that, he is the one, the heir and successor. Heir and successor means the one who continues the work of true father. So he has to put his mission first, despite whatever feelings he may have. So it's very important to know this. If he obeyed his mother, he would have betrayed father. So he had to choose to obey father and follow him. And we can see that Hak Jahan deviated completely from father. She created her own theology, her own teachings. Here she states that there was two gods. in a speech in HJ Global News 2018. And Andrew Wilson, one of the top lecturers in Family Federation, they supported her ditheism, a belief in two gods, which is totally against your father's teaching. Here, Andrew Wilson writes, when you go to the spirit world, you will see that there is not only the Heavenly Father, but also the Heavenly Mother. Can a living being come to exist without both a mother and father? That is why the way to heaven comes through the mother as well as the father. It's not only bizarre, as Father always maintained God is one, but God is also invisible. God has always been invisible in a form. But according to Andrew Wilson, who follows Hakchahan's new theology, you can see a Heavenly Father and a Heavenly Mother in the spiritual world, a visible God. This is quite bizarre and totally alien to whatever Father taught. And Father said that the Changchungang book has to be kept for thousands of years for our descendants. That's why nobody should touch it. I mean, when you think about it, it should go without saying. It's a crime to change any person's book. If you imagine you change any author, you just get his book, change it and put it out again, put his name in it, that's a terrible crime. But this is done to the most important person in history, the second coming of Christ. Let's see what he says about the Changchungang book. Changchungang has to be kept for tens of thousands of years for your descendants. If Christianity had the Bible, which Jesus left, would they have sectarian fights? Because of this, Changchungang, you cannot have sectarian fights. Also, he states, also, I don't want anyone newly changing or editing anything among the things I wrote. They don't know why the content is the way it is. If they change the content without knowing, then they will be judged by everyone when they go to the other world. They will be charged for it. That's why nobody should touch it. So Father gave very stern warnings not to touch his words. Hakchahan did change the Changchungang. She even made a new Changchungang book against Father's directions. And so we have a new Changchungang book appear with a brown cover. You must have seen it. Many people wonder why this appeared. There's a lot of dishonesty about this. First they said that it was just made just to polish Father's words or just to remove repetitions. But this turned out to be totally false. They left out huge contents from it. I'll just give a couple of examples what they left out. On page 1179 of the original Changchungang book, in the section 2.2, Selecting True Mother, Father explained that if his first wife, Sunkil Choi, kept faith, she would have been true mother, not Hakchahan. Hakchahan left this out of the Changchungang book because it exposes her false claim that only she was meant to be true mother. Hakchahan has been claiming more recent times that only she was born for this mission, born as the only begotten daughter, born even without original sin. That's been her claims. So making that claim, she wants to assume the same authority as Father. So she claimed to be born without original sin. But saying this, then when you read from the original Changchungang book that Sunkil Choi could have been Messiah, obviously Hakchahan was not born for that mission. She's not Father's first choice. And so she removed it from her own book. So you can't change this. She's claiming a position that's not really there. Hakchahan was never meant to, the person in the Messiah's wife was never meant to be the Messiah. That person meant to be, as the potential to be true mother, or the wife of God. that was never meant to be a Messiah, she's reclaiming a position that was never hers in the first place. Again, the third and fourth paragraph on page 1141 of the original Chonchongun book is explaining about Adam being one with God and being God himself after reaching perfection, and Eve becoming the wife of God when she reached perfection. This content was left out of the new Chonchongun book because Hakchihan disagrees with Father. She thinks she is the subject, not Father. So you might have noticed in other presentations or other posts, Hakchihan did actually claim that Father was born with original sin and that she was not. And that she comes, is because of her that she says Father. This is totally false. Hakchihan reversed Father's teaching, totally reversed it.